An entitled kid tries to steal my phone and run. I provoke them to stay and knocked entitled mom out until police arrives. So I was doing a typical inline skating round in one of the outer tiny villages literally 3 kilometers away from mine, and on a break I decided to sit down and browse some of the sweet r/dank memes. I ended up so distracted that I did not notice a small pair of hands reach for it and grab it, followed by an attempt to run away. I was with my inline skates, so I followed the entitled kid easily to his stupidly obese entitled mom. The conversation went a little like this. Me: "Hey, this kid stole my phone."
"It's not stealing if he likes it. He deserves it more than you anyway. Just think of it as borrowing."
Oh my god. I kid you not. She dead but said if it wasn't for necessary survival, it's not stealing, and tried to make a beeline away from the area. I could keep up with them. That fat grill and her probably 6 to 8 year old flip nugget would never be faster or outlast me, but I remembered that there is one thing entitled parents hate the most. The very prejudice they accuse others to do, so... me. No wonder you steal and run since you're such an autistic gay satanist raised by a racist fat bigoting cheater. Oh my god, this guy's insane actually. Sure enough, both of them stopped dead in their tracks, turned around, and the entitled mom dead but charged at me. I still had inline skates on, so kicks would trip me over if I made a mistake, but I used to train karate for anger management that came with the abuse of my own entitled parents. So when she was close enough, I lifted my leg, good leg, and swung into her face as hard as I could. The front tire of my inlines connected with the spot right above the ears. She fell, no movement, just deep, slow breaths noticed by her fat stomach moving up and down. I didn't think I hit that hard, but the entitled mom got one kick knocked out. That's what you call one shot. The entitled kid in the meantime broke down hard and was so distracted with his tantrum and crying that I took my phone back from him and alerted the local police. Witnesses were able to confirm my side of the story, and entitled mom got cuffed while entitled kid was sent to his dad. Said dad was a local journalist for a minor online newspaper called 20 Minuten, a newspaper that usually shares stories like these. So since it was his wife being knocked out after stealing and running, we agreed not to publicify this incident at all to spare him the collateral embarrassment. Entitled mom tries to steal over 20 pounds of jerky from my market stand. This part says OP is a hunter and he prepares and sells meat. I had a few buyers and made a soft profit of about 80 bucks for about 3 hours. It's fine, it's just the weekend anyway, so I don't do it as a job, just as some money on the side. So I can be a bit giving if I like you enough. That is when the dark clouds circled above and from the depths crawled the monstrous beast known as entitled mom and her entitled child Hellspawn. So I am selling my jerky when I see 2 young boys come up into my stand and ask for some samples. Sure kids, I say to them, and hand them about a 2-inch strip of jerky. One asks for regular and the other asks for barbecue. Their eyes widened and I knew I saw it in them. That carnal spark of the man that brings joy the moment his tongue touches the sweet caress of jerky. I saw 2 wee babes take a step towards adulthood, I thought to myself, and went back to completing another sale. I felt a familiar presence behind me and turned to see the entitled child asking for another sample. Unfortunately, as I had been burned before, I told him, well, normally I have a 1 sample per person policy, but I'll make an exception today, and handed him one more, 1 teriyaki. This was my mistake. I saw it. That poor boy tasted my piece de resistance, and there was no hope for him to ever enjoy regular teriyaki again. He remarked on how good it was, and the other looked at me and said,
"Can I have another one of those?"
I apologized. I am sorry buddy, but my usual is 1 per person, but I gave you 2. If you want I will be here tomorrow and I will give you some then. Entitled child scrunched his face and tried to take another piece from my sample bowl, which picked up and I said no. I said you cannot have any more, and moved in front of him. See, I understand how I may have ruined this child's jerky future, and he simply had to get more, so I said, if you can get your parents to buy some, I will throw in extra. Does that sound good? And while he was turning red in his face and his fists were shaking, note, this is not me dramatizing the story, this was the child doing one of those moments where you get so mad you just puff up and start shaking because of how mad you are. But the moment I mentioned his mother, something in that poor twisted child's head clicked and he smiled and went to get his mother. Things go well and I sell a few more bags and altogether it's about pack up time and I made about $160. Not bad for about 6 hours. I see a woman approach my stand and she's got the child in tow. I prepared my best customer service smile and then I saw her stilt walking with a finger aimed right at my forehead and I could quickly make out the vein in her neck now pulsating. It was entitled Mom.
How dare you not give my child your jerky? The hell is wrong with you?
Admittedly, I blinked a few times, just hit with a deep wave of what the but regained my composure stating, my apologies, miss. Your child had 2 samples of which I normally offer 1. These aren't small samples mind you, but I do sell these for profit. If you would like I could sell you a bag of the jerky he wanted with a bit of extra on the side, if he likes. Again, not doing this entirely for money, so I was willing to ignore that. She calmed a bit and pointed to my large plastic jar of teriyaki I had for organizing them before bagging. I want that one, how much is it? Entitled Mom said. I look to her and say, my apologies, that is for organizing. As you can see on my table I have various bags of sizes for you to purchase, but that jar is not for sale as a unit. I quickly learned how much the apple falls from the tree when she turned beet red and nearly spat on me saying,
why won't you sell me that jar? I am paying customer and you also refuse to give my child his jerky.
I would put this in bold text to explain she was screaming going forward, but it was practically the whole time from get-go, so just imagine the mom from Malcolm in the Middle and she is practically a stunt double vocally anyway. Her tirade continues drawing guys around the market and I notice security approaching nearby giving me the need help eyes. I shake my head thinking I can't de-escalate this. I am an ex-Walmart employee. I got this, I thought. No, the ma'am switched the single most complying insult you can give to a woman you are having trouble with. Ma'am, I pointed out that these jars are not for sale, but I can sell you bags. Would you like a bag? I eked in.
No, I want that jar. That is what I want, and if you won't sell it to me, the least you can do is give it to me for causing me and my child so much grief as compensation. I had to console him because you wouldn't give him the jerky. What is wrong with you?
The child is behind her grinning ear to ear, thinking Mommy Dearest would let him get his way, and myself arguably growing more and more tired of dealing with this woman. Ma'am, do you want to buy a bag or not? If not, please leave my stand, I am nearly done with today and will pack up soon. She yelled at me as I began to pack my things, turning my back to her, and put away my jars, when she reached over my counter and grabs my jar from the crate saying,
you will sell me this jar, you stupid
explicitive.
Do you not have ears?
Holding in front of my face, gesturing to it. I am done dealing with her and quickly take back my jar saying, no, go away. I was offering extra at first and even dealt with the yelling, but midway she grabs the jar back out of my hand saying,
don't you
explicitive
take my
explicitive
jerky, I told you I will buy it.
At this point I had motioned for the security guy to come over and he told her to hand over my jar, to which she looked at him and uttered several loud
no.
She tried to walk away with it in hand. But lady, you forgot. This is my masterwork and I have a reputation around the market. The pepper salesman, the pepper salesman, a large 6'1" Native American man, stops her arms spread out wide, which she yells at him to move, spitting in his face. He wipes his face and rips the jar from her hands and tells her to leave, holding it above her while she yells at him to give it back like some demental adult game of keep away and hands it to the security. Security informs her that she is banned from the market and tells her to leave, or else they would have to place her in cuffs until the police arrive. Unfortunately for her, someone already called the police and also recorded it. I love my community. Not only was she charged with theft, she was also charged with assault for spitting, and her child got into the cruiser and were hauled away. I had to go in to testify because the pepper salesman pressed the charges for it, but was happy to do so. She got a whopping $3,000 fine and was banned from the market upon punishment of even more fines. If you wanna hear a story,
if you try to see your daughter again, I'll put you in prison for rape.
And a story of Karen leaving her child in bruises every day and how she got justice, click on the video on the screen. Also consider subscribing to help me grow the channel. Until the next time, stay awesome.